Just like in Zion Williamson's case last year, Lamelo Ball is by far the most popular and recognizable name in the 2020 NBA draft. As the youngest brother in the Ball family, Lamelo was born with basketball around him everywhere, even in his last name. Today, he's projected as a top pick in this year's draft, and whichever team decides to select him is going to increase their national media attention in ways that no other player could do in his rookie season. Given his head cameras following him since his early high school days, Melo is no stranger to the spotlight. But how did he become such a huge draw before even stepping foot on an NBA court? This is the story behind Lamelo Ball. Lamelo LaFrance Ball was born on August 22, 2001. His parents, LeVar and Tina Ball, were both former college basketball players. By the time Lamelo was born, his loud, outspoken father was already training his two older brothers, Lonzo and LiAngelo. LeVar would start training Melo shortly after he could walk, and by age 4 he was already playing basketball alongside Lonzo and LiAngelo, and against much older opponents. As the younger brother, Lamelo naturally had the biggest hills to overcome, with his dad being no less demanding with him than with his brothers, regardless of his age. LeVar had Melo shooting with a professional-sized basketball in a 10-feet regulation rim at 4. Lacking strength, Lamelo had to get under the ball and shoot it with both hands. These are the origins of the unorthodox yet surprisingly accurate jump shot he has today, and the one that literally made him famous. As a freshman in 2015, Lamelo joined his two brothers and his cousin Andre Ball at the Chino Hills High School basketball team. He was immediately inserted into the starting lineup and scored 27 points in his debut game. For a guy that had always been used to playing older and tougher competition, this was just another day at the office for the youngest Ball brother. But it wasn't until his sophomore season that he went viral and sent shockwaves through social media. It was a December 26, 2016 game against Rancho Mirage when Eli Scott, Lamelo's teammate, was at the free throw line for 2 shots. Eli made the first one, and while Melo reached to dap Scott's hand, he told him, "Watch what happens on the next possession." Scott made the second free throw, and the other team scored shortly afterwards. After receiving the inbounds pass, Lamelo slowly dribbled the ball up the court, and as he approached the midcourt logo, he pointed at the half-court line. He stopped and casually shot a 45-footer that swished through the net. The packed high school gym went crazy, and it didn't take long for the clip to go viral on social media. That was officially the Ball's family first viral moment, and from that moment and on, the spotlight has followed them non-stop. The half-court shot drew the attention of fans and NBA players alike. Even Steph Curry, the player many people have compared Lamelo to, addressed the viral clip. About 2 months later, Melo once again made national headlines after a 92-point game against Los Osos. He went trending on Twitter for the first time ever, and SportsCenter was all over the footage. The reactions were mixed, with many people being initially surprised by such a game. But the critiques soon appeared, bashing Lamelo for cherry-picking some of his baskets, calling him overrated, and even saying he ruined basketball. According to a detailed breakdown of the film, Ball scored 70 of his points legitimately, while the other 22 came off cherry-picking. But LeVar Ball once again got what he wanted, and what he's been desperately craving ever since: attention. It was around this time when LeVar, alongside business associate Alan Foster, created the Big Baller brand. He did so in an attempt to profit not only off his son's basketball talents, but also off the attention that his outlandish, over-the-top remarks he often made in big outlets. It wasn't long after that Lamelo became the youngest athlete ever to own a signature shoe, the Melo Ball 1s, made by the BBB. This raised concerns over Melo's eligibility to play college basketball, as he was already committed to UCLA. The controversial Ball dad returned to the spotlight in early October 2017, when he pulled Lamelo out of Chino Hills High School to homeschool him, as LeVar disapproved of the new Chino Hills head coach Dennis Lattimore and school administration. The Ball family then signed agent Harrison Gaines, who immediately started exploring for overseas teams' interest in signing Melo and his brother LiAngelo. This meant that Lamelo would take the unconventional route of skipping college to go pro, thus never playing for UCLA. It didn't take long before Gaines got Lamelo and his brother contracts, as they signed with BC Vytautas from the Lithuanian Basketball League. Their stint there lasted about 5 months, at the end of which LeVar brought his sons back to the US 2 games before their season ended, in part because he didn't think Lamelo had enough playing time. He finished his season averaging 6.5 points in 12.8 minutes. The youngest Ball then signed with the Los Angeles Ballers, one of the 8 teams from another one of his father's creations, the Junior Basketball League. Its purpose was giving high school players an alternative to college basketball while getting paid before becoming NBA draft eligible. Lamelo balled out in the JBA's lone season, winning the JBA championship. At the end of the season, he was named to the league's select team that would go on an international tour to face several European teams. Melo left the team mid-tour to return to the US and complete his senior high school season. Since then, the JBA has folded. By this point, LeVar had turned Lamelo into a hot potato. He was still a 5-star recruit, but his signature shoe and professional experience made him ineligible to return to Chino Hills High School and play college basketball later on. Spire Institute, a prep school in Ohio, allowed Ball to play, given they competed outside of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. But several prominent high school teams were forced to cancel their games with Spire, as Ball's professional experience could threaten their state eligibility. He once again balled out and was named their league's MVP. Shortly afterwards, Lonzo Ball made national headlines when he announced he was parting ways with Alan Foster and the Big Baller brand. Foster was allegedly responsible for over $1.5 million missing from Lonzo's personal and business accounts. Lonzo covered his Triple B tattoo with the new image of a dice and sued Foster for putting together a fraudulent scheme. Foster had previously admitted to running a fraudulent stock scheme in 2002. Lonzo then advised Lamelo to pursue deals outside of the Big Baller brand. Talk to everybody, take every meeting, whoever wants you the most, man, go with them. I told him make sure he takes control of his career now, don't wait like I did. Lamelo thankfully listened to his brother's advice and avoided many of the mistakes he committed, and Melo has distanced himself from the Big Baller brand since, with only LeVar and LiAngelo appearing in the brand's new website since their attempt at restoring the brand's value. Lamelo then had one more overseas stint, signing with the Illawarra Hawks from Australia's National Basketball League. And after a season-ending injury to starting point guard Aaron Brooks, Ball got his chance to shine, becoming the youngest player in league history to get a triple-double, and then going on to post multiple more. After bruising his foot in practice, it was announced that Ball would miss about a month due to injury. And while still sidelined, Ball decided to sit out for the remainder of the season, effectively ending his 12-game career in Australia as he switched gears to prepare for the NBA draft. Melo was named the NBL's Rookie of the Year and later purchased the Hawks franchise alongside his manager, Jermaine Jackson. Today, Ball enters the 2020 NBA draft as one of the most famous and professionally experienced players in the draft's history. He has more Instagram followers than all but 7 NBA players and 2 NBA teams. Whichever franchise decides to draft him will start receiving unparalleled levels of media attention, as Lamelo looks to become an NBA star on his own. No matter what Melo does, LeVar will always love him and support him. And luckily for himself, Lamelo has learned to become his own man. There are no excuses. The ball is in his court. That was the story of Lamelo Ball. Which team do you think will draft him? Will his success continue as he makes his transition into the NBA? Make sure to comment down below. And as always, please leave a like and subscribe.